The next article is how a super energetic particle from outer space could help physics. In this article, the writer says that in May 2021, Japanese scientist Toshihiro Fujii discovered a very high-energy cosmic ray event called Amaterasu. It turned out to be the second highest cosmic ray to be discovered, named after the sun goddess in Japanese mythology. Astronomer Dr. Fujii discovered the cosmic ray when analyzing data collected between May 2008 and November 2021 by the Telescope Array project in the US. Cosmic rays are streams of energetic particles and clusters of particles coming from outer space and the sun. They include protons and alpha particles, nuclei of helium atoms. Only low-intensity cosmic rays reach the Earth's surface, as their energy is mostly lost in the atmosphere itself. Life on Earth would not have been possible without these rays. From the 1930s, studies of cosmic rays led scientists to discover many unknown subatomic particles. However, the sources of cosmic rays and their reasons for their energy remain a mystery even 86 years after their discovery. The data collected by the Telescope Array project indicated that the Amaterasu cosmic ray had an energy of 240 excitation electrons, EeV, which is approximately 1.6 x 10, 19 joules. The mass energy of a single Higgs boson particle, which is considered heavy, is 125.1 billion eV. Cosmic rays typically range in energy from about 1 billion eV to about 100 billion eV. The Amaterasu cosmic ray had an energy of 240 eV or 240 billion eV, which is 40 million times higher than the energy imbued in protons by the Large Hadron Collider, LHC, the world's most powerful particle smasher. The discovery of the Amaterasu cosmic ray could boost efforts to spot more such events and help make sense of their properties. Ultra-high energy cosmic rays, UECRs, are subatomic particles from extragalactic sources with energies greater than 1 eV. Scientists have observed UECRs more energetic than 100 eV. However, cosmic rays with more energy than around 60 eV usually do not survive beyond a certain distance in space due to the cosmic microwave background, CMB, which suppresses the flux of UECRs above 60 eV. The longer a UECR passes through the CMB, the greater the supernova explosion and the more energy it has. The discovery of the Amaterasu cosmic ray could help us better understand the properties of these rays and their potential applications in our understanding of the universe. Hello everyone, let's discuss today's The Hindu editorial page. The first article is a manifesto for justice that has sprung from crises. In this article, the writer says that India is grappling with multiple crises, including unemployment, social and cultural strife, ecological collapse, and erosion of democratic rights. The last few years have seen a worsening situation, with attempts by unemployed people to draw attention to their struggles by gate-crashing parliament, the sinking of Joshimath and the dam burst in Sikkim, the conflict in Manipur, and the attempt to suppress democratic voices by slapping false cases against activists, journalists, and lawyers who speak up. Hope lies in the many initiatives to resist the forces of destruction and construct alternative pathways of meeting human needs and aspirations. Some come from governments and businesses, while many are by communities and people's collectives. There is a growing demand for basic policy-level shifts to support such alternative approaches. On December 18th, 85 people's movements and civil society organizations released a People's Manifesto for a Just, Equitable and Sustainable India, gathered under the national platform Vikalp Sangam, Alternatives Influence. These groups represent hundreds of initiatives working on ecological food production, decentralized water harvesting and management, community-based energy production, dignified housing and settlements, meaningful education and health security, locally empowered decision-making, and resistance against destructive projects. Vikalp Sangam has convened over 30 physical assemblies, published 1,500 stories of positive change, brought out a collective vision of the India we want, and advocated policy changes. The manifesto is aimed at the general election 2024, but also at various local to national institutions and processes. On the economy, it takes on the serious crisis of unemployment, especially among the youth, urging priority attention to small manufacturing, crafts, value-added produce from agriculture, forestry, fisheries, and pastoralism, and the extension of the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act to urban areas. To make these viable, it asks that all goods and services produced through handmade and small manufacturing should be reserved for these. The Vikalp Sangam process has compiled hundreds of practical examples of these approaches. Its website, www.vikalpsangam.org, has stories of rural revival, reduced outmigration, and reverse migration back from cities and large industries to villages and small manufacturing or crafts. There are dozens of stories of dignified, remunerative livelihoods based on agriculture or other land-based occupations, combined with new ones such as homestay-based tourism, youth enterprises combining traditional and modern knowledge and technologies, and other ways to escape the mechanized, uncreative race of mass industrial production. However, such examples will remain limited in their reach as macroeconomic policies and budgets are focused on large industry controlled by big corporations and government agencies, with extreme inequalities of economic and political power. The manifesto demands curbs on the enormous black economy, reduction in the ratio of highest and lowest salaries, greater wealth and inheritance taxation of the rich, and basic income and pension for all workers. Noting both the increasing authoritarian tendencies of the state and the unfinished task of decentralization, the manifesto asks for real devolution of financial and social resources. The next article is Change for the Worse. India and Maldives should see the benefits of closer ties. In this article, the writer says that the rapid decline in ties between India and the Maldives following Prime Minister Narendra Modi's meeting with newly elected Maldivian President Mohamed Muitzu should be alarming. The tension stemmed from tweets by 3 Maldivian ministers attacking Modi for promoting the Lakshmi Adweep Islands and his close ties with Israel. The Indian government distanced itself from the ministers, but the damage has been done. The ambassadors were summoned. Social media sites have crowded social media sites calling for an economic boycott of the Maldives, as Indian tourists make up most arrivals post-COVID-19. The underlying reasons for this decline include the change in government in Malaysia, which has led to calls for boycotts and rising hypernationalism. Muizzu chose Turkey as his first bilateral destination and is now visiting China, becoming the first president not to make India his first priority. Even President Yamin visited Delhi first in 2014. With calls for boycotts and rising hypernationalism, Delhi and Malaysia need to step back and reassess their responses. India must see the futility of exerting influence in a smaller neighborhood, but the benefits of a stronger relationship include infrastructure projects, strategic partnerships, support during the COVID-19 pandemic, and cooperation on the international stage. For India, in a region with several elections this year, it is crucial to ensure that domestic political changes do not change the basic structure of bilateral ties or affect regional stability. The next article is an expanding Gaza War, with no endgame in sight. In this article, the writer says that the Gaza War has reached its 3-month mark, spreading dangerously to Lebanon, Iraq, Yemen, and even Iran. On January 2nd, an Israeli drone strike killed Saleh al-Aruri, the deputy head of the Hamas leadership in Beirut. 2 explosions in Kerman killed 95 people who had gathered at the mausoleum of General Qasem Soleimani, former head of the Al-Quds force. The Islamic State claimed responsibility, but many Iranians suspect it to be Israel's hand. On January 4th, the United States announced the targeted killing of the head of an Iranian-affiliated militia in Baghdad that has been attacking American targets since the beginning of the Gaza War. These attacks have escalated tensions in the already volatile region, which is recovering from the death and destruction caused by Israel in Gaza since early October. Over the last 3 months, over 22,000 Palestinians have been killed, most of them women and children, while nearly 2 million have been displaced, the largest displacement of Palestinians in history. Israeli troops have also expanded their military operations to the West Bank, with nearly 300 Palestinians killed, several thousand taken into detention, and numerous homes destroyed. Israeli cabinet ministers have called for the cleansing of Gaza of Palestinians and the resettlement of the enclave with Jewish settlers. The major concern at present is that a desperate Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, might pursue the escalation trajectory, as despite the mass killings in Gaza, Israel has very little to show for its efforts. There are concerns that Saleh al-Aruri's killing was carried out to proclaim some success in the war on Hamas. Most reports suggest that he had no involvement with the planning or execution of the October 7, 2023 attacks. Targeted killings serve no useful purpose. While the deceased leaders are quickly replaced, the assassinations increase mutual hostility and escalate tensions. The worrying possibility is that Mr. Netanyahu might not be averse to a regional conflict, following the political and military failures that facilitated Hamas's October 7th attacks, and with no military success to restore peace.